So, hello everyone, and welcome back to STW Sports. I'm host Samuel Wright, joined here by Russ Vernon. Well, Russ, welcome to the show. And first question I'm going to ask you is about your club, Leeds United. Obviously, last year returned to the Premier League for the first time in 16 years, finishing the top half of the table, and now the fans are back in to finally witness them in the Premier League. What's it like right now being a Leeds United fan?
It's great being a Leeds United fan right now. Some superb display from the team last season to finish ninth. A lot of that team was a mid-table championship side when Bielsa came in. Took us 3 years to go to the Premier League. Stayed up. A lot of people, beginning of this season, thought when we lost to Manchester United, we were going to be second season syndrome. I didn't think that. I knew we, with the capabilities that we've got in the squad. And Saturday against Everton was good to be back inside Ellenwood for the first time since March 2020 when we played Huddersfield in the Championship. I was part of the crowd on Saturday. It was brilliant atmosphere. I was right behind in line. I could see in line where Rafinha struck on that equaliser in the second half, and when Everton got that penalty in the first. Leeds should have had a penalty in the second against Everton when Mina brought down Bamford, hands all over his neck, brought him down. Referee said no, VAR even checked it while we were chanting for him too, and also said no, which I don't see why that was no penalty. Because clearly hands round his neck. If they were in wrestling, everyone would be seeing a great move.
Yeah, obviously with Marcelo Bielsa, came in the summer of 2018. First season, very eventful season. Unfortunately, fell a little bit short at the end. Second season promotion, and then of course last season a very good campaign back in the Premier League, as we mentioned earlier. How much admiration do you have for Marcelo Bielsa and the job he's done at Leeds?
He's done really, really well with Leeds. I mean, you can see that from where he's done at the club. He's changed the last summer. Just looking at going back to this summer, just gone and building on to a second season in the Premier League. You can see that in the Premier League that this past summer, all his coaching staff went back on holiday, went to Argentina, back home to see their friends, and that while the summer holidays were happening, Bielsa stayed at Leeds to oversee work on the training ground. He's made sure the training ground and Ellenwood have got the same pitches, and what he's done to the club, because to say it was a mid-table championship side before he came in, and well, I was probably going to buy down into League One. The way he's changed around, you can just ask some of the players at Leeds, they all say he's done really, really well, and us as fans, we think he's done really, really well with the club. With the players that we've got at the club, brilliant signings coming in as well. In likes of Rafinha, I mentioned Junior Firpo, every time to settle in, but he looked decent to the weekend against Everton. And from what I heard from fans who were there, he looked decent. It was decent against Crew last night in the cup, in the second round of the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, obviously with that as well, Leeds, you've got to ask about, of course, I don't know if you watched Leeds United Take Us Home documentary. Now, one of the most fascinating documentaries ever. And as a Leeds fan, how did that make you really feel about the club? And of course, Marcelo Bielsa's ways obviously coming in, and the club just kind of changed a lot, I guess, from that moment onwards. Obviously, the first, year they're ending in heartbreak against Derby. Obviously, looking back at that now, was for you that a moment though that kind of was for the better for the club, really, the fact they had that setback and they've responded so well in the last couple of years?
Yes, I said, because on the way, by the way, to go to Manchester with a supporters club, Leeds United Mexico supporters club, and there were people on that bus after the game against Derby. One turned around to me dad and went, "I'm not coming again. They've let myself down, or they've let me down too many times." And then the following season, when we ended up winning the title and got promoted, it was curtailed and came back due to the ongoing pandemic that we're currently still in. My dad went to him, I thought he weren't coming again. He went, "Well, I've changed my mind." And considering that we had some of the players left who were in that squad left, we fetched majority of players in. We always like to keep a small squad, and what he's done with the small squad that he's got, he don't really spend that much on any players. If he needs to replace anyone with injuries, he delves down into the under 23s and set of which at the moment is really, really good. And the way he's transformed the club, like I mentioned earlier, Sam, he's just been superb.
I mean, obviously, in terms of players, and what in your time being a Leeds fan, have you got a favourite player from that time period?
When from the first time I was in the Premier League, I would have, but when I would probably have to say probably David Batty was a good player from bits I saw, and then there was like some more Viduka as well when we were back in the Premier League before. Then we dropped down into the Championship and Football League, and that era would have to be Jermaine Beckford, not just because of his goal against Manchester United in the FA Cup, but also the goal which helped us get promoted back into the Championship. And then back in the Championship, we had like Becchio and all them in there as well. And then we've built on, and currently at the moment, I've got 3 players who I really, really like. Patrick Bamford's up there. Also, Calvin Phillips. What a great Euros he had with England, which I'm sure we'll probably mention a bit later on. But and then obviously there's another 2, should I say, that we've also got Luke Ayling, doing really, really well, bargain that we're going from Yeovil, about 750,000, I think he was, that we actually spent on him. And then also we also signed and recently is between Rafinha and Jack Harrison, and Jack Harrison, just want to touch on Jack Harrison a minute. He's been with Bielsa and Leeds since Bielsa's been here, 3 times on loan and now permanent. And you can see the transformation from when he first came in to now. Jack Harrison under Bielsa's done really well, and the majority of these players that we've got at the moment has done really, really well, because when we were in the Championship, defence making a few mistakes, everyone used to go on Liam Cooper's back. Some still do, some still don't think he's captain material. I think he's good for the side, whether that's in the start for the squad as a leadership role, as grown as leader. This squad at the moment now, so in the Premier League, we've got leaders all over the pitch. You can see from wherever he puts out the leaders in there, and going to upgrade on Alioski, who was there last season and bits in the Championship as well under Bielsa. And before that, we've got to upgrade on him now in the left back spot. No disregard to Alioski, is a good player, but the left back spot, he's done made his own fair play, made it his own really now, and I can't see anyone dislodging him from that.
Yeah, obviously, in terms of favourite memories, one memory that you will have of obviously, which probably was a standout in the last 15, 20 years, was getting promoted back to the Premier League, which wasn't actually a Leeds win. It was a Huddersfield win, 2-1 against West Bromwich Albion. What are your memories of that day? And, obviously, with it being so long since Leeds were in the Premier League, did it sink in immediately when it was confirmed you were going back to the big time?
He didn't sink in straight away, and it was another on the day when it actually happened. I was watching a bit on my phone up in my aunties, and for the majority of the first half and parts of the second half. Then we're walking back down home from my aunties, with that far away from him. I was just crossing the main road. There were no cars coming. I was just walking across, then just stood in the middle of the road, cheered. My dad went to my mum. I think Huddersfield have scored. Showed it on my phone to my dad, and then as soon as the final whistle went, on Facebook, Messenger, group chat I've got with the sports club I go with, all celebrating on me for the rest of the night. And I actually said to them against one of them over the phone after we played Barnsley the day before the Huddersfield game. I went to them, I went, Leeds will win promotion tomorrow, Huddersfield will beat West Brom. And then they did. And then he went, and then on the day that happened, I went, spoke to him and I went, I'll tell you something now. Leeds are going to win the title tomorrow. Brentford won't win. And then when they're winning the title the following day, and it was just superb. And it was like, I knew what was going to happen before it even happened. Because I said we were going to get promoted when we did. And then I said we were going to win title when we did. And we actually went up in Football League. Have tried to keep us down so many, many times. And finally got to say we're out of that now. And we won't be going back there hopefully for a very long time under Bielsa in this playing squad that we've got at the moment.
Yeah, obviously this weekend you take on Burnley away from home. Always a tricky game at Burnley. How are you feeling going into that one as a Leeds fan?
I think it'll be a good game. I think last season we beat them 4-0 at Turf Moor and 1-0 at Ellen Road. The game at Ellen Road could have gone either way. A very tight game, that one. This one at Ellen Road is a very, that one at Turf Moor last season, very comfortable win for Leeds in the end. I think with this one of the weekend, I think it'll be another good game. I think Leeds will get the first win of the season. Obviously, we haven't won yet this season. A draw and a defeat to this campaign, winning the cup. We're not in the league yet. I think we'll get the first league win of the season this weekend. No disrespect to Burnley. I think our squad on paper compared to theirs is very, very good. And if you watch the matchup and watch where Burnley defend, watch where we defend in our Burnley attack, Leeds attack a lot quicker than Burnley, and Leeds when we're on front forward with Rafinha, Bamford, Harrison on going forward, with likes of Dallas and Click pushing up from midfield as well. We've got the strength and pace that's getting behind the Burnley backline, and I think that would probably be the key. The pace will probably be the key. I think Rafinha's can get beyond Charlie Taylor quite a number of times. I think beyond Lurton, and I think that could be a tough, long afternoon for Burnley, and Burnley could still remain, and Burnley will remain pointless in the Premier League so far.
Have you got a score prediction for the game? An official score prediction?
I think Sam, I'll just tell you this: against Crewe in the cup on the Facebook group I'm in, do predictions on there. I actually put down our Leeds would win 3-0 last night. That came true. I thought it'd win on Saturday. Obviously, that didn't come true. I said it was going to be 3-2 to Leeds. Just one goal out on that one. I think it'll be a really long afternoon for Burnley. If Leeds are on form and on fire, I think Leeds could end up winning this quite comfortably. I can see another 4-0 Leeds here because our attack probably a bit quicker than Burnley, probably a bit sharper than Burnley's defence, and we're a lot fitter than Burnley. No disrespect to Sean Dyche and his style and the way he likes to play, but I think our style suits us better to play against Burnley because they'll have to come out and press in our pace of Harrison, Rafinha, Bamford, Flick and Dallas as well from midfield. That'll give us the platform to push up and get the goals quite comfortably. I'm going to say 4-0.
Yep, and finally, where do you think Leeds will finish in the Premier League this season?
I did a prediction table before the season started. I said I think we'll finish about 7th, and maybe I said 7th. I think we'll get to the Europa Conference League, which is what Spurs are currently in the moment. Because I think Man City will probably win the Carabao Cup again, and they'll qualify for the Champions League, so it goes to the 7th place spot. If the Carabao Cup winners qualify for one of the other 2 European competitions, so I think we'll get 7th, get Europa Conference League, and it'll be a very good season for Leeds, and then push on the following season to try and gain that top 4 or even top 6 to get in Europa League or even Champions League.
Yep, great. And also just want to ask you about the other leagues in England as well. Obviously, Sky Bet League 2, 1 and the Championship. What in terms of predictions for them this season? Any teams for you who are standing out so far?
I think if you look at in League 1, first of all, Sam, I think Sheffield Wednesday are doing really, really well so far. Obviously got a 2-0 win against the club I'm covering for my job at one of the local radio stations, which is just new up-and-coming radio stations, is a really good win against Rotherham United. The other weekend, Rotherham missed a penalty and that one lost Chiedozie Ogbene to an hamstring injury, which, if any Rotherham fans listen to this, is not serious. He'll only be missing for weeks rather than months. That came out of the club yesterday on Chiedozie Ogbene, so that'll be a positive news for Paul Warren's side. So I think they're doing really, really well there. Sheffield Wednesday, Rotherham, I think will have a good season as well. In League 2, I think Bradford may have a good season this year, Sam. I'm not just saying that because of you. I know you were for them. I think we've got a good manager there. Derek Adams, who did well with Morecambe last season. I think he'll have a good. And I think Bradford have got a good squad from what I've seen the matches so far. The highlights, I think you've got a good squad there, and I think Bradford could end up getting promoted. In the Championship, I think Fulham and Sheffield United and West Brom will be up there or thereabouts this season. I know Sheffield United have not started well yet in the division, but I think they'll finish up at the top of the table. I don't think they'll go down near the top of the table anyway. I think probably top 2 for Sheffield United and top 2 for West Brom, and maybe playoffs for Fulham. Whoever Fulham can win the playoffs is another match, but I think Fulham will be up there this season from what I've seen of them so far, and I think you can't really call the Championship. Anyone can go out of that, but I think Sheffield United, West Brom, Fulham will all be up there or thereabouts. Sheffield United will start climbing up the table sooner rather than later, in my opinion, Sam.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, that's all we've got time for today anyway, Russ, but thank you very much for joining me, and I will speak to you soon.
Cheers, Sam.